Surrounding a proposed school bond measure for San Diego Unified District is set for the November ballot. Joining us this morning is Lani Lutar, the Executive Director of the San Diego County Taxpayers Association. Good morning, Lani.
Good morning.
Now, what's interesting here is her group normally supports school bond measures, but they're opposing Proposition Z on the November ballot. Why is that?
Well, this is a $2.8 billion tax measure, and it comes just 4 years after the last tax measure for the school district, which was $2 billion. And believe it or not, they have spent less than 20% of the last $2 billion tax measure that we already approved as voters. And so we think it only is appropriate for the school district to spend the money it has, $1.7 billion remaining, and fulfill its promise to voters before coming back to ask for another tax increase.
Why are they saying they're coming back for more? What's their excuse for that?
Well, they're saying they need money for facilities and technology and whatnot. But this is another reason why we're opposed to the measure. They want to pay for iPads using 40-year high-interest financing. So that means in 2050, we'd still be paying off iPads that the kids would be receiving today. And I have a 2-year-old son that's going to be entering the school system within the district soon, and there's nothing more that I would want than my son to have quality education. But unfortunately, there's absolutely nothing in this measure that guarantees that our children are going to have better education from these increased taxpayer dollars.
He'll be 42 by then and still paying for iPads.
It's insane.
Okay, how much will this actually cost the taxpayers, the people who support the schools? We saw Poway just went through this bond issue that was going to be hugely expensive in the long run. How much would this new Proposition Z actually cost the taxpayers way out?
Well, that's the other frightening aspect of this measure. The $2.8 billion tax increase measure would in reality end up costing taxpayers between $10 to $14 billion. And again, these are tax dollars would be paying for the next 40 years, if not longer, because of this high interest financing they can take on.
The original face value is how much again?
$2.8 billion.
And it will cost how much totally?
It can go up to $14 billion.
Now, Larry Reamer, who's the consultant who helps the school board politicize these things and promote them for the November ballot, he says that your organization has become just a tool of Republican interests that want to somehow defeat this. How do you answer that kind of criticism?
Well, I think it's clear when you consider the fact that we have already supported 4 other school bond measures within the region, and we're considering support for other school bond measures, that we have a track record of supporting bond measures, tax increases that is, to pay for facilities when the school district makes a clear case, when they can show that they have a track record of spending taxpayer dollars responsibly, and that is not the case with San Diego Unified. We have seen time after time that they have mismanaged our dollars, and so all of the evidence shows that we are in fact a nonpartisan and will consider a tax increase if it's appropriate. In the case of Proposition Z, there are actually 14 billion reasons not to support the measure.
So you're urging people to vote no on this thing in November.
That's correct. We urge voters to vote no.
Lani Lutar from the San Diego Taxpayers Association. Thank you, Lani, for being
Paul.
here. Okay, back to you, shall we?
All right, Paul, thank you. Disgraced Penn State football coach Joe Paterno